Struggler is the tabletop role-playing game inspired by Berserk. This is a fan project, meaning that I have no intention of monetization, so I'm literally just in this for the love of the game. Speaking of game, let's check it out. Yes, we have a mortal and an apostle facing off. We have a character sheet, we got some dice, we got everything you need to enjoy a role-playing game responsibly. We've got the rough draft of the rulebook here, and we have our guidebooks, which I have been combing through meticulously like a Bible to make the best Berserk gaming experience I can. Well, we got our boy Isidro here. He's got some stats going on. Not very much strength, lots of speed, a little bit of wits, not a lot of guile, and a little bit of awareness. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, we're gonna make a roll. So let's say on our turn, we are going to use our panel, not our action, but our panel. And yes, you can combine multiple panels to make a full page. We're going to throw some rocks. It looks like we're a ranged master, so we're really good at this. We're gonna roll. We're gonna total up the result. That's actually really good. Let's say we rolled bad. What happens is, so you get to choose where you take wounds from. Effectively, your offense, your power, is also your defense, your HP. If we took 4 wounds, we might want to take 1, 2, 3, and 1 from wits. So now, next turn, when we want to spend those same ranged panels, we're going to be down on our speed. This is the basic mechanic. Now, let's say we're in a tough spot. We lose 2 more, take 2 more wounds. Now we got to roll a consequence. So we're going to go over here to our consequence table. We're going to roll twice. Love my D12s. I got a 1 and a 3. So we can either traumatize Isidro, permanently lose 1 wit die, or we can cripple Isidro, permanently lose 1 speed die. Ooh, we don't want to lose our speed. That's our strong stat. We're going to lose 1 wit. And we'll come up with a story reason around that. This is a game where description is king. Now, while we will be playtesting more with our friends, most of our time is still going to be in front of a computer typing up new features and stat blocks. Anyway, the first update is that yes, I keep saying we. Someone saw the last couple videos and reached out to me wanting to help, so now they're on board the dev ship. They want to be anonymous, so let's give them a code name, Godot. Fitting for a helpful soul forging tools for a future that is brighter, more badass, and more berserk. Godot had a lot of ideas for adding more content to the game, and I already had some more ideas of my own in mind, so we started branching the game out. This does run the risk of making the game too complicated or crunchy, which I would like to avoid, but my initial prototype was pretty basic, so I think most of these are necessary inclusions, but we could still add more or halt certain ideas if they aren't going in the best direction. Let's see a few of the highlights we're looking at. Now, we've got a lot of talents, and we need a way to organize them. So here's how we're going to start sorting them out, and maybe there's going to be a requirement for your strength stat to be able to regenerate or be a heavy cavalry. And you can see here where you first purchase the first part of a talent, and then you develop a mastery in that talent by purchasing it. Again, you get your choice, one of the 3. We do have some general talents. Now, there's a lot of different ways that your character could be a charger, right? Maybe you're a big brute and you're just gonna smash through the enemy line, but maybe you're more witty about it, you're more tactical. So I think guile makes more sense. I think you can also shout down the enemy as you're charging in. Maybe it's an inspiring kind of deal, which we have represented. You know, or you're just heckin' fast and you just sweep through people without them noticing. That's very anime. So we've got a lot going on there, and then we get up to our exclusive talents. Godot pointed out to me that you can't really be fated like Zod over here and be defiant like Guts. These are not just things that work with the causality mechanic, they work with causality as a story element in the game. So we decided that these are your brand, and you can only have one brand, and they're going to be earned more through the story than any kind of experience pickup. Talents are going to be the primary building blocks of your character, and also the monsters and enemies in the bestiary we're working on. So with this many existing talents and with a ton of new talents on the way, as you can imagine, there's a lot of fine-tuning to be done, a lot of balance, a lot of kinks to be ironed out. But if you know Berserk fans, I think we know iron, and I think we know kinks too, so we'll figure it out. Next, most people who took a look at the prototype doc agreed that consequences are pretty cool as a mechanic, but Godo pointed out that these are all pretty severe, especially for scenes like the sparring match between Rickard and Corcus that I used as a sample. So I've made a second roll table of simple consequences for lighter scenes. The existing consequence roll table will remain for dire scenes, and we're working on a middle ground for more standard scenes. This, combined with an enemy's threat score representing their power plus their total talents, conveniently provides a simple framework for the narrator to come up with scenes with different challenge levels on the fly. We also took a look at the causality mechanic. This was a big deal, playtesters liked it, so we want to lean into that with even more opportunities for both the players and the narrator. But what's going to take the most work is the magic system of this game. I always considered the Berserk magic system to be pretty soft compared to a hard magic system like a Brandon Sanderson book, but it does have some defined rules, including steps to casting a spell and different planes of reality and magic. We've added an awareness meter on your character sheet to keep track of who can see magical entities. The lighter end of the scale is your average ignorant NPC, while the dark side is going to be fully magical beings like Femto. Magical talents have their own group, and we're going to add several new spell-like talents yet to be determined. And this is all going to provide a nice tool to gauge the fantasy level of your Berserk adventure. Maybe you're keeping things mostly medieval, so your party will look like this. But as your awareness goes up and you learn real magic, your party might look more like this. But we want to take it further. We want to make a role-playing game where you and your friends play this party and maybe even flip the struggler dynamic on its head so that you can play as this party. And there's even more rules discussion going on, so I'm just going to show y'all a few in rapid fire. We've got 5 new talents: General, Oddseer, Dark Spirits, Crackshot, and Jester. We are fine-tuning the experience system. We are making specific rules for cursed items that will add in consequences as they give you talents. We are making special rules for legendary monsters so that motherfucking Zod can be even more cool, or allow for a character like Rosine, who is clearly both fated and fey-touched. We're going to be refining rules for our forces. We are going to define the role of the narrator a little more and give some guidance, and maybe spend just a little time on the good old gold coin economy. And we want to do all that while staying true to the source material by Kentaro Miura, keeping the game flow dynamic and allowing both the player and the narrator to express themselves through their descriptions, just like Miura expressed himself through his legendary art. So, development is ongoing. We're spreading the word to our RPG friends and fellow Berserk enjoyers, and we're looking for your feedback. Leave a comment below if something in the video stuck out to you as being especially awesome and something we should prioritize, or if you have concerns about how a certain mechanic or direction is going. And if you want to go deeper than the comments section, you really want a Berserk RPG to work, be like Godo. Shoot me an email. Tell me about your experience with role-playing games and with Berserk, and maybe you'll get an invite to the team and our secret dev team Discord. Whether you're hopping aboard the ship or waiting on the shore for its arrival, thanks for watching. Stay true to your fire. Bye-bye.